Emphasizing the commitment to customer and passenger safety, Mazda's proud to have received 8 coveted Top Safety Pick Plus awards from the IIHS for 2025, more than any other brand. Come experience Mazda at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.
I remember this. It's awesome.
Mac and cheese. It's actually National Cheese Day, so maybe that commercial would be fun.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it is National Cheese Day.
Now.
Hey, welcome
on
to
National Cheese Day.
On National Cheese Day.
Yeah.
Is there a favorite cheese? Do you have a favorite cheese?
Provolone.
Really?
Okay.
I wasn't expecting
That's unique.
provolone.
Great answer, Tico.
Love.
I'm partial to the smoked Gouda.
Oh,
Also a great
yes.
answer.
Yes.
Very
Great.
specific.
Both are great on
I can't.
sandwiches.
Oh my gosh!
I
Right?
think I know yours. Queso.
Well, okay, sure, melted cheese.
Yes.
Any forms.
Any kind,
with
but
a salty, vessel of yeah, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love it.
Unmelted kind. I'm kind of partial to the Havarti, right?
Oh,
but
good choice.
the choices up here. Look at
know.
from the provolone to the smoked Gouda, not just Gouda, but smoked.
What
Gouda.
you got? What you got, Liz?
Yeah, Liz.
Come on, if you say
You know
cheddar.
what I'm liking? Spicy Colby Jack.
Spicy
Tillamook
Colby
has a spicy Colby Jack cheese that I discovered at Albertsons.
Yeah.
It is delicious on burgers.
Really?
It's
I
got the
bet.
right kick to it,
Yeah.
and it's delicious.
Okay.
Yes,
Why do
spicy
we do this
Colby
to
Jack.
ourselves, man? We are literally.
love
Oh, I know.
Cheese with a little bit of heat. Sign me up.
Come
oh,
on.
God.
We were talking about those old commercials.
Yes.
Was
Yeah.
it the commercials that said, cheese, glorious cheese?
Cheese, glorious.
What is that one?
Something,
I
something,
think I
something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is it a
That's
craft
the correct.
commercial?
That's the correct second stanza, by the way. Something.
Okay, Tico.
Love it.
Yeah.
It just started ringing in my head.
It doesn't matter after cheese.
Okay, well, yeah, that catches your attention regardless. What, do you remember what the product was for, or what it was commercially?
It was car or something.
Car?
No, it was cheese.
Something like that. I remember that cheese one, and I remember the Where's the Beef,
Oh,
which I don't know if that
yeah.
was before your time.
Yeah.
The old
Wendy's.
ladies?
The
It's a
old
Wendy's,
ladies.
right?
Wendy's,
Wendy's
right?
Where's the
commercial,
beef?
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
Wendy's.
It's a Wendy's
Yes.
commercial.
Vaguely, that vaguely
Yeah.
sounds familiar.
Yeah. Man, our commercials were good.
Go down the rabbit hole. Even Channel 9, some of the great ones, when we had our 70th anniversary special,
Yeah.
we
Oh,
got to
yeah.
go into the vault and
Yeah.
look back at some of them and the old jingles.
Yeah.
We used to be referred to as Louisiana's news channel.
Sure. Still are.
Louisiana's news
Still are.
channel.
I get Newsline 9 all the time.
Yeah.
I've been here for 20 plus. We haven't been Newsline 9 in forever.
Yeah.
You know? But the other day I got called Greg Merriweather. So, it's okay.
Well, I love when people in
love
the community run into our team and see the men and they're like, hey, Street Beat.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
Yes,
Well, we're
because
all-
this is Greg
We're all
Merriweather.
Street Beat.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. That's just kind of the
love it.
ubiquitous terminology. But yeah, forever Newsline 9, forever Louisiana's news show.
Yeah.
It's just kind of fun.
It's the lasting commercials that you remember over time. And stop me if you've heard this
Oh,
story
here we-
here of our viewers here. One of my favorite stories is a St. Patrick's Day parade.
Mm-hmm.
Me, Greg Merriweather, his wife, and their son. We were walking down Perkins on the overpass. Stop at a porta potty.
Oh, no.
Greg is about to go in as
Oh, yeah.
someone comes out. He's like, "Hey, Jay Grimes." He says, "Not quite," and then walks in.
Jay Grimes to Greg.
Yes. He said, "Not quite."
Not quite.
I love that. Not quite.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
good.
You should have been like, yeah, that's right.
Right.
And me, Jay, about to do some business.
Well, I got him out. Sorry. Sorry. Yeah. I thought it was hilarious.
God.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
is
You know what?
great.
Sometimes they mix and match names. It
Yes.
happens to us. When
Oh,
somebody
yeah.
recognizes us for weather, first I want to make sure that it's good or bad.
Oh, that's true.
If it's good, it's like, yeah, Jared Silverman.
Nice.
If it's like hard, like, what's going on with this weather? Dr. Steve, how you doing?
Oh, now Tico, if someone
Ever
ever
real?
confuses you for Johnny, you
Oh.
let us know.
I
Yes.
will do.
Johnny Ocean, right? Yes.
Oh,
I'll be
God.
like Matt. Yeah.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. Here's my
When he
email.
gets Tico, he says, "Thank you very much. Thanks for watching."
That is kind of
Compliment.
funny every once in a while. They say, hey, did you work over there at the TV station? I don't know.
Yes.
What do you need?
Right.
I'll let
Depending
you
on
know.
what's going to follow.
Exactly.
Right.
There's a part B to that conversation, and depending on that, I'll let you know what part C looks like.
Right.
So, no, it's so much fun.
It is because they're watching, and
Yeah.
we love that.
Can't say
Whenever
thanks
you
enough.
say that,
Can't say
we
thanks
love
enough.
that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So back to the cheese. No, it's not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Always
But,
a great conversation.
Did we figure out? We had a question during the commercial break. We just saw that Asian elephant,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
And we're trying to figure out which ones were the bigger ones, Asians or
Yes.
Africans got the bigger ears because they got to have the
Mm-hmm.
work on the heat and the cooling. But did we figure out which is bigger?
Liz did.
What is it?
African elephants.
By like a little bit?
By about 1,000, 2,000 pounds.
By a ton?
Yes. I didn't know it was that vast.
I mean, those little Asian elephants are not even playing in the same
No.
game.
They have a
No,
little more
that's
girth.
a-
So I'm
little
telling you
more
in that
girth.
video,
That's
that
a
was an
big one.
Asian elephant.
Right.
So if that was an African, I don't think the African elephant would have fit
Fit
in
the
the
frame?
store.
No, would have knocked down half of that building wall.
Easy, easy,
Yeah.
easy.
I didn't know that there was that big of a difference.
Me neither. Me
Dude.
neither. And you think about proximity, right? The continent's not too far in proximity
back in
from
the
each
day, they
other.
used to do, you know, Pangea right
So
there,
you
you
think about the vast difference in weight.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a cousin that maybe.
Look at the size
Oh,
of that
thank
thing.
you.
Yeah,
Thank you for
thank
bringing
you
that up.
so much.
So
Yeah.
this is Thailand. Yeah, an elephant making its way into a convenience store. But you see the size of that, and then
Yeah.
breaking it. Look at that. So it's
So
comfortably
that's
walking
the Asian.
in.
That's
Right,
the Asian
that's
one.
Asian.
though.
Right.
The itty bitty
But
ears.
imagine 2,000 pounds more and the same
Yeah,
elephant
that's
trying to do that kind of damage.
madness.
Oh boy.
It wouldn't fit.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's-
that one barely fits.
Yeah.
Well, he was looking for peanuts apparently, made
Yeah.
his way through some snacks in there.
I thought he was going for the beer,
Look
but I
at
guess
that
not.
employee, like, okay, it's a
Yeah,
stick
there
up.
you go. Well, I tell you what, if an elephant wants his forecast, you give it to him now. If he wants rain, you give it. Is he going to get rain?
He can hose us down with his trunk.
There you
That
go.
would be nice.
There you
That's
go.
a sprinkler.
No rain next to miss it. The sprinkler, yeah. Johnny and running through the
Right,
sprinklers.
exactly.
Johnny would be first in line for that one. Yes, the rain chances are going to be limited for today, as Liz alluded to. And what you're looking at right now, you're looking at our Skycam, which is showing right now that we have partly cloudy skies. Meanwhile, 72 degrees out your door, and not that much doing on our live radar, which is showing just a couple of those showers moving into the Homa area, but they're not holding together in Baton Rouge. So it looks like we're not going to see too much, especially in the morning, only about a 10% chance. Matter of fact, this big complex of storms out in Texas completely falling apart, happening very quickly, just over the past few hours, vanishing to almost nothing. Nothing from that area is supposed to move our way. And in fact, the Futurecast graph is relatively quiet and limited for the rain chances. They've got us in the lower 90s for today. I think we'll stall it out around 90 degrees. But yeah, keeping an eye on Baton Rouge, not really seeing too much. Just a couple of isolated showers later in the afternoon going into the early part of the evening. And the HRRR is showing something very similar. They're going to try to get a couple of those popcorn thunderstorms our way. I think the farther south you go, you might have a slightly better chance of getting a few of those. And then after we get beyond 7 p.m., everything should move out and fall off of the map. The other thing we're going to be talking about are the rising dew points. Big increase in not only the humidity, but this is going to increase the heat indices. And as we get to the end of the work week, going into the weekend, we're talking about, wow, that just changed. Okay, now Saturday they're showing 106 for the way that it feels. So that is getting close to what we consider dangerous heat. You're going to definitely want to take the precautions there. Let's talk about the tropics, shall we? Fourth day of the month, fourth day of the hurricane season, and a 10% chance right off of the eastern seaboard. Probably nothing going to come of that. But this guy over here, now a high 70% chance. That's in the eastern Pacific. So a good chance that becomes the next named storm. Remember, they already had their A storm. They had Tropical Storm Alvin. So that'll be their B storm. Of course, we're still waiting on the A. When it happens, that'll be Andrea. The other big weather headline, and you're going to hear this on network news, you're going to be talking about this, the plumes of African dust moving into the southern United States. But not only that, but combining with the more than 200 Canadian wildfires that are dredging up all this smoke and dropping it across the entire eastern half of the United States. So the farther north you go, obviously you're getting closer to Canada. That's going to be the thicker smoke plumes, and the thicker dust plumes are going to be down here to the south. So don't be surprised over the next couple of days. You get a little bit of hazy sunshine. Maybe if your allergies seem like they're flaring up a little bit more than normal, but it's only a 30% chance for today. So I would say take or leave the rain gear. Either way, I think you're going to be all right. Then overnight tonight, the low temperature only getting down to 73 degrees. But watch how we ramp up the chance of rain next week, throwing a couple of 60%ers. But the good news there is the rain chances go up. Look at those forecast highs next week. They're not that bad, going down to the 80s, and that almost maps us out to the midpoint of June. So I think most of us would take that. 7-11. Let's see what's going on the roads. Hey, Tico.
Good morning, Jerry. Good morning, everyone. Overall, right now, we're seeing a nice, easy flow of traffic in and around the Baton Rouge area. No accidents, no stalls, clogging any lanes on your interstate systems. If you're making your way west on I-10 from around Gonzales, here's a live look near LA 30. You can see nice, easy flow of traffic moving on LA 30, 10 east and westbound, moving quite nicely into the Baton Rouge area through Prairieville. Once you get past the 10-12 split, same story. Easy flow of traffic from the 10-12 into the downtown area. Right now, you're looking at about a 20-minute drive from Gonzales towards the 10-110. Stay tuned. We'll be right back with more 9 News this morning.
Hey, real quick before you get going, something we're following for you today. Day 2, in fact, of a trial. Do you remember this 6 years ago? Sadie Roberts Joseph, Baton Rouge icon, killed?
Yeah, the name Ron Bell.
There you go.
He's the suspect accused of killing Miss Sadie back in 2019 here. This made national headlines
gosh,
at the
it did.
time. Well, now nearly 6 years later, the trial is underway. In fact, today is going to be that second day here. Ron Bell is charged with second-degree murder of the death of Miss Sadie Roberts Joseph. Now, her family was in court Tuesday saying they never thought this day would come. We're going to have a crew in court following the latest developments. If charged, he faces a mandatory life sentence in prison.
I want to make sure you know about this. This is a major closure because this is going to go on for probably a year, is what they're saying. Liz, this is part of the parks, restoration project.
Yeah.
And so that street, May Street, right between City Park Lake and University Lake, they're going to shut down May Street.
So you're looking at that map here. That is a major corridor
Yeah.
for a lot of folks who live in that area, but also people who like to walk and run in that area. All of that's going to be blocked off for a whole year. We know it's going to be good
my
once we get
gosh.
there, just like the I-10 widening project.
That's
but
true.
as we look at all the construction, not easy to see. We don't like to look at that, especially when
true.
it causes some headaches.
You can't even jog over there?
Yeah.
No, they're going to shut the whole thing down.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
interesting.
Kind of a nuisance. We'll keep reminding you.
Emphasizing the commitment to customer and passenger safety, Mazda's proud to have received 8 coveted Top Safety Pick Plus awards from the IIHS for 2025, more than any other brand. Come experience Mazda at Baton Rouge's Mazda dealer, Team Mazda on Airline.